Let's go. Let's go. First and foremost, this space has been like long awaited. We've been planning this for a minute and ecstatic that we were able to finally get it together. An amazing group up today. Want to encourage everybody to check out the pinned tweet at the top. If you can retweet that, share, throw in group chats, go and text your grandma and tell her to jump on. We would love to see that. And we are also live on YouTube. So if you check out that pinned tweet and you go into the next tweet, you can get the YouTube link and come catch these pretty faces up live on YouTube. Hang with us. You get to see the curator of Strange History itself, Historic Crypto. And we also got Black up here. We got Aaron Art, Moonlight Sierra, Pixelosopher, Nuclear Samurai, some pillars of these curations across a number of different platforms. So thrilled to have you guys on today. I have to ask you guys, I saw we had an AI video drop. I think it was last week, HC?
Yeah, Strange History Conquest just went live on Friday, October 6th. And we had
HC, I can't hear you. Can everybody else hear him? Yeah?
We had a yacht party.
Feel free to keep talking, man.
You still hear me? Yeah, so we had a
1 sec, I think it's on my end. I'll figure it out.
Strange History Conquest dropped on Friday. It's a collection of 21 AI videos.
Feel free to keep going. I'm going to figure this out in the background, but you guys can chop it up.
Depicting historical battles through time that may or may not have happened. We had a really great drop. A lot of people in Strange History were involved, and we had an open call for the drop, and it's our first foray into AI video through the Strange History Collective. So it was really exciting. We had a lot of great pieces drop. I think 7 or 8 of them out of 21 sold already on Foundation. Pixelosopher had a piece. He's here tonight. And we're trying to do our best and move forward with continuing with AI video with Strange History. It's something that I really find exciting, and it brings another level to the artwork that we've been doing and that we've been dropping. So you're definitely going to keep looking out for more AI video drops from us in Strange History. But that was really great. And then yesterday we, in collaboration with Join and Gianmarco, he gave us access to his metaverse on Cyber Yacht. So I curated a gallery with Strange History Conquest videos. And on the second and third floor was the Strange History Alternate Realities Super Rare exhibit, which everyone here was a part of, and a lot of strange historians were also a part of. So there were 32 pieces on the top levels. Really cool to see your art in a gallery, in a metaverse gallery, where you could be sitting anywhere in the world, you know, joining up and kind of cruising around a gallery with other people to take part in actually viewing some of the stuff that you're minting on chain.
I can't.
And guys, wait, quickly, I'm going to do a quick, can you guys hear me? Just a mic check. All right, sweet. I can't hear you guys. I'm going to just do a quick off and on. So we're going to go, we'll still stay live on the Twitter space. We'll still stay live on YouTube. I'm just going to reset audio really quickly. So you might lose sound for like 30 seconds, and then we'll be back audio wise in 30 seconds.
Okay.
So can we hear each other or not? What's going on?
I didn't hear HC in the Twitter space. I had it on loud and I didn't hear anything you said.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I hear everyone at the moment, although I got booted from the Twitter space, so I need to be added back up as a speaker at some point.
All right, check. Can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I can hear you.
Yeah. Can somebody speak?
Yes.
Can you hear us?
I am speaking.
La 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 la.
Check.
Live.
Are you there?
Check, check,
Yes.
check.
Can you guys
Music
speak
that
again?
time.
We are
Yeah, we are.
So I am
Yeah.
Twitter Space can't hear us. We're still live on YouTube. But yeah, for whatever reasons I can't hear you guys. I'm gonna leave StreamYard and I'm gonna come back and see if that fixes it too.
Okay.
All right.
This happened last time.
Yeah,
Am I
probably-
still in the space? I put my phone in the other room.
You are. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And there's people here. And it's quiet.
You could just unmute
Yeah.
and just like, hey,
Hey everybody, we're just working through some technical difficulties and we will be back in a second.
We are back. I think I got audio on you guys. You guys got audio on me.
You hear
Yeah,
us?
now it's
Let's
okay.
go. All right, we're back. We're
Let's
live.
go.
All right, start over.
Celebrate with some music. All right, what did I interrupt? I missed this HT's whole entire
This is
intro.
the whole thing.
I can restart.
all right, take two,
End the
dude.
space here.
Take two.
No, I mean you
I
guys
think-
can just pick up wherever the conversation was. I know Sierra was about to say something.
I was just gonna tell you that we couldn't hear him in the space and that he was saying good things. So
Oh, gotcha. Well,
So I was just
everybody
talking
can
about
hear everything
Strange History Conquest, which a lot of people in the space are aware of or are a part of, and everyone here was a part of the yacht gallery or the Strange History Conquest drop, which was 21 AI videos that we put out an open call for. It's our first time doing AI video in Strange History, and we dropped 21 AI videos of historical depictions and interpretations of battles that may or may not have happened. So we got some really interesting takes on history through that open call and through that drop. 7 or 8 of them sold already, which is really great, in this market. Kind of crazy. The world has always been on fire. It's always trending. It's always in the top, 10 on Foundation, which has been insane since we've been going on since March 21st about. And a lot of the people here have been here from the beginning. Black was here pretty much from the beginning. Nuclear was in the first group chat with me. When it was just a few of us. Pixelosopher came in right after that. Sierra came in right after that. Aaron won the Strange History Super Rare Open Call, so that was a few months ago. And
Yes.
we've been going hard. We've been going strong with Strange History, so it's a great idea, and it's great to have so many awesome artists behind it that really make it flourish.
Dude, I have like 15 questions for you. Before we get there, I do want to shout out Aaron's is like avatar right now on the live stream. It is ridiculous. Aaron somehow found a way to like make his current actual Twitter PFP an avatar of himself that like moves when he moves on the video. And it is the most ridiculous thing ever. So you guys have to check that out on the YouTube live stream. Nonetheless,
I will post in. I think I posted in Twitter somewhere where it is, but I can post again. Quick technical note, Steven. I got rugged on the Twitter space, so if you need to add me back as a speaker so that I'm in there correctly. But yeah, this is like the most low effort PFP avatar video thing ever, and I think it's fantastic. So
it looks elite, dude. It's actually insane.
my phone is, I think, all the way volume down and still popping out. I don't know if people hear it or not through
I
there.
don't hear it. I think you're good.
Oh, great, cool. But yeah, it's like we were trying to figure out how to do this, and we were looking at like what Claire had done, and it turns out it's like not a low budget solution, and this is free. So I'm stoked about it.
Yeah, dude. Shouts out to you for figuring it out. And I'm like, I would say, I know you said you did it already, but just like that video that you sent us earlier that you like, I assume you posted on Twitter is just ridiculous. So kudos to you for pulling it together. But Historic, on the yacht party, man, I feel like I saw stuff about the yacht thing on Twitter. What was the concept behind the yacht?
Yeah, so the yacht is just, I mean, if it was me building a metaverse, it would have been a Viking longship or a Greek or Roman trireme or, Emperor Nero's gigantic, massive ship that sailed in the Mediterranean, or something to carry an Egyptian pharaoh on the Nile. But it wasn't me that designed it. Luckily, we had Jin Marco, who is on the join team, and he designed and built a massive metaverse yacht, and it can actually exhibit 100 something artworks at once. So it was a place that we were able to get access to where we could show not only 21 AI videos at one time, but 32 artworks that we had brought onto Super Rare. And there are three levels and 5 different rooms to exhibit the work. So it was just kind of all kind of happened at once. I reached out to join to host an open call for our AI videos, and they said, hey, in addition to having your open call and adding these winners to your foundation world, do you want to exhibit them on our yacht? And I said, of course. Who doesn't want to exhibit art on a yacht at a party?
Well, that's
So it
cool.
worked out.
That's hype. And like, I assume you guys were able to watch people's, like, I guess, metaverse avatars, for lack of a better term, kind of react to the art on the yacht.
Yeah, so you can like communicate in the chat on the yacht, and you kind of walk around and you can see who you're standing next to, and your avatar will have your PFP as the head if you want it to be, that way, or on Cyber has like a number of other avatars that you can use. So it's pretty cool. I'd never really experienced something like that before.
Mhm.
It's always such a pain in the ass to try to get in real life gallery exhibits together, let alone trying to get people from all over the world to visit, and join and do something at the same time, So this is just kind of an easy way to get people from all walks of life onto an exhibit. And we have that metaverse yacht gallery set up now forever. It's a permanent exhibit, so you can go in and look at it anytime, go back to it, bring people there. If you want to bring your mom or your friends or your family, you can go in there and show them what the metaverse is all about. So it's like a real life application of something that I had never really thought was really had that much utility when it came to NFTs and the word metaverse. I always thought it was bullshit, but when you're using it to exhibit art, it's actually really cool.
Hell yeah, man. I'm gonna have to grab my Uncle Joe and we're gonna have to take a spin on the yacht, dude.
I'll send you the link, definitely.
Yeah. But who amongst our group here like was in the AI video exhibit?
Pixel was in.
Pixel, you
I
were in?
was, yeah, I was there. I was fortunately exhibiting 2 pieces in the yacht. And I remember Black exhibit something before that. So it wasn't my first time there. It was actually my second time. And it's really wonderful to see how it all happens, like this duality between reality and the metaverse, like having these two kind of presences there. Because I'm actually right now trying to diversify in the physical world too. And it's just a different experience, but it feels similar in a way, like having something representing you on a different level or something. And yes, you can see the avatars. I think you can actually buy avatars on Cyber. No, I didn't know that before, but I saw some people there dancing around with like teddy bear customs and stuff. So it was really fun. But yeah, I was fortunate, as I said, to exhibit 2 pieces. One was the AI video about the muddy Waterloo battle. I took an approach that was a little bit, as HC described before, lighthearted. And I was very inspired by Monty Python, so because I'm a huge fan. So I was just trying to play around the idea of solving or, coming to terms in a conflict by giving each other food, basically. So I started exploring this script, and I came about this idea. So I'm glad that it was shown there at the yacht. And the other one, I think it was my super rare piece, my most representative one, Moctezuma overlooking Neo-Tenochtitlan in 2006, which is part of my Neo-Aztec Empire series. And that's very cool, just to like explore different streams of how strange history develops generally, because you have this more like innovative ways of using AI art, using in this particular case video for storytelling and world building. I think Black is doing something very tremendous in that particular specific case with Syncretica, but the other side of this other stream exploring through super rare, of course, and montage and all of that. This kind of narrative part, I really loved it. So yeah, I was there, and I'm still here. I don't know what to say.
Dude, let's go, man. I also have to shout you out on like your appearance today, dude. The glasses and the hoodie. Kill it.
Yeah. That's. I mean, I wanted to play my first PFP, which is still my PFP on Instagram, and it's something that just appeared to be how I normally dress, like when it's rainy, of course, because now we have a rainy afternoon, and I live in Mexico. I live in Guadalajara, so normally we don't have this kind of weather. Now I can actually use the hoodie, and I know that the sunglasses are kind of a contradiction, but we're trying to play a character here too.
It feels like it fits the character though.
Yeah.
They're also just swaggy sunglasses.
Yeah, of course.
But I think like the concepts across I think it's sick how this, curation just started on Foundation, right? And it was just like historic. Do you expect it to be as big as it's been thus far? Were you intending to get as many artists, or was it like meant to be a small thing that kind of snowballed?
Yeah, it was definitely meant to be small. I had no idea how big it was going to get. And then everyone kind of, once it started and people were so excited about it, and the first few pieces dropped and the first few pieces started getting bids, at like around 0.1 ETH is what our original floor was. And we started selling out like one work after the next, and it just kind of snowballed into that everyone goading me, hey, get more people involved, do this, do that, do that. And I was like, all right, well, I'm in it now for the long haul. And we just started I started going out onto Twitter to just recruit as many awesome artists as I could into our group chat first, and then to onboard them into the world. And through now 2 open calls and me just kind of finding people and inviting them, we're up to over 100 artists in the Foundation world alone, and over 140 artists that have contributed to either Foundation, Super Rare, or Object, which is a crazy number in 6 months.
Hell yeah. And I think it's like, I love that though. It's cool. It's like, it feels like a virus almost. It's like spreading across these different platforms, man.
Yeah, and
one of the
it's all
things-
just it's all just like artist based and artists supporting each other. And there's been no hint of marketing whatsoever. I've never had to pay anyone to promote Strange History. It's just the beauty of it is that we have so many people involved that the promotion of it is just organic. So everyone is obviously trying to promote their own pieces, but then when you see someone else that has an auction started on one of their artworks, you're excited for them because it promotes the entire world in general. And it's just a great way to bring people from all walks of life and different facets of Web3 together into one place to support each other. And it's really grown large because of that.
Agreed, man.
One of the things I want to add onto that is from those very early days with HC and I, it's Nucleus Samurai speaking. One of the earliest things in the very start of that group chat was that like it really was just us aiming to have fun. Like there was no like grand plan about it. We were just like, hey, would it be cool if we did this and if we did that? And Moonlight was there as well. And it was just like the ideas started spitballing.
I think we lost him.
I added him as a speaker on the space, and I wonder if that's why we lost him. Damn it, my bad, Nuke. But I guess Sierra, do you want to pick up on that? On just like what the early days of the group chat looked like?
Yeah, I was actually onboarded by Nuclear. Like I had no idea that this was going on, that they had their own like separate group chat. And he and I had been friends for a really long time, and kind of started getting into AI together. And he was like, you got to join this group. I'm going to put in a word for you. And I was like, what is this? What's Strange History? And like basically, as you said, it became a virus that now I'm addicted to it, and I'm addicted to the people. It's not even just so much fun to create the art, but like everyone in that group is just so awesome. So I have to thank Nuke for bringing me in, and Historic for allowing me into the cool club. But yeah, it was, is he back? No.
Yeah, I think we got you back, Nuke.
Yeah, sorry guys. I was just rugging hard.
No, I was just saying how like you brought me into the group.
You know what was crazy?
Homies.
The way I met Moonlight was like, she originally was asking like, oh, where is a good community for people who do AI art? And like I introduced you to another group, and then we got into Strange History around the same time. And it was just crazy. Like it's these communities, they kind of become this kind of like shared interest and this like safe haven for this, art form that is controversial. Less so.
You're good. We can still hear you.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, but you're saying that it becomes like a safe haven for
Yeah, this art form is a little bit controversial still. There's still, a lot of negative opinions about it. And so like to have a collective of people who are on the same page and kind of like just really kind of vibing on the ideas and the possibilities with these tools, that, it's not the same sort of thing as painting, where you can go, hey, let's do something really quickly that's kind of reactive to a moment, and then we can react onto each other and bounce off each other. There's no other kind of art form that's this quick to be able to do that. And so there is this kind of like level of growth that happens with it that's kind of unique to the genre.
100%. So on that note, I feel like there, there's the argument of like whether AI art is like art, right? And I think that one of the things that I've noticed in it, like even within this curation, is how much better I just feel like the art has increasingly gotten over time. And I think that is a tribute to you guys. It's like everybody's sharing ideas, bouncing off one another. And it's gotten to a point where like, this is not just like artwork that just comes straight out of Midjourney and is just like minted. Like it's very, very obvious that you guys have put a lot of like time and effort and like really crafted each individual piece here. And it's at a level where it's, it seems like it's done by somebody who truly is an AI artist and like a master of these tools, rather than just like some 16-year-old that's just like spitting out Midjourney prompts. So I think it's cool that it's gotten that far. But want to kick it over to Black. Black, I know you were also an early, I believe you were in like the first foundation world early on as well, right?
Yeah. Historic came to me and told me the idea, and he was like, I don't know if you would be a part of anything like this. And I was like, it's an instant yes, dude. I love this idea. Let's go. Yeah, it's been something that I feel like out of all the other things that I've been involved in and all the things that have happened in the last year, like it's been the most fun thing. Like I feel like it's always been like, if I get burned out or whatever else, I can always be like, I'm gonna go work on my Strange History stuff. Like that's sort of how I feel. It's like an escape in a way. And even though I feel like I've just layered and layered and layered and layered things on top of it and just kind of built this world around the stuff that I'm currently working on myself, it's like it's still something really enjoyable, and I think that a lot of passion comes out when that happens, So yeah, it's been awesome.
Like today, man. I mean, how many pieces did you cook up today?
Well, I've been working on this thing for like just over 45 days. What I'm dropping tomorrow, I have 3 1-to-1s dropping tomorrow on Super Rare. But I've been creating these like almost like B-roll, like separate shots, like to get to the point of these other ones that I've done. And I decided I'm building out, I built out almost all the way now, but a join showcase for all the 3 main pieces, but also the 3 from a month or 2 ago. And I've created basically like secondary, like B-roll footage, so to speak, of the world and kind of like lineage getting to a certain point in the storyline and things like this. And so I decided to kind of just like go all out with that. I'm going to end up minting like 15 new pieces as like secondary additions inside the join showcase for it, that kind of like that are sort of like secondary, images based on the timeline and kind of things that led up to certain like crescendo moments that have become like the larger like 1-to-1 pieces. And so that was something I was planning on doing up until this morning. I realized I should mint them and not just put them on there as images. And I was like, okay, well, if I'm gonna do that, then I got to step it up a little bit too. So then I ended up kind of going all in on it. It just sort of consumed me as it does. So.
Wait, so I want to like clarify the backstory here. Wait, so are the 3 1-of-1s, are those 3 1-of-1s in like Strange History curations, or are those 3 1-of-1s in just like your personal body of work?
There are 3 new 1-to-1s in my Super Rare alternate realities, alternate history, Strange History world. It's like pretty
Gotcha.
much the same thing, but yeah.
Yeah.
And called Aegis Syncretica. So I've got 3 from in September when we first launched the super rare space with Montage and Sloika, and this is the second part of those. So
Sweet. So these are, you have those 3 1-of-1s, and now these are like the pieces that you're working on, right? These 15. You said they were additions, or are they also 1-of-1s?
they're going to be additions. 3
Okay.
editions each, and I'm going to have them layered inside the join showcase, that kind of like, you know, in chronological order.
Gotcha. So they're going to kind of tell you the backstory leading up to these 3 1-of-1s.
Yeah, they're like sort of like tangential, you know, either like what happened before this main thing that happened or what happened after this main thing happened. You know, it's sort of a mixed bag of that.
It's like, yeah, it's like the Star Wars saga.
Yeah, sure.
We're getting down that route.
Although I don't know, I'm just Syncretica may have more history than Star Wars at this point. I don't know. It's getting pretty deep. But no, yeah, something close to that. Yeah.
Can you quickly give us the, I guess, like, we know you haven't, you know, released these editions yet, but can you give us the quick stop of each 1-of-1 of each of the 3? Like, what are those 3 different scenes that we'll be transitioning between?
So I have I'm basically writing like 3 separate books for the whole story, and each book has like its own storyline essentially. And so every time I'm going to do a drop, I'm going to do like the next piece in each book. So the first drop was like number 1 of book 1, 2, 3, and tomorrow is going to be number 2 of book 1, 2, 3. And in the first one, we saw JFK make a deal with a rising spiritual group called Syncretica, and then tomorrow we're going to see what led from that choice and the sacrifice that has to be made from that. And then skipping out in 1963 and skipping ahead to 2033. The first one was a riot that ended up taking the life of a Syncretica youth, faithful believer, and again, tomorrow will be sort of the repercussions of that and what happens when an authoritarian government decides to dispel any type of dissent. And then the third one is called Exodus, and that's the story of the Syncretica authoritarian kind of elite going off planet to find another world to inhabit after this one becomes completely destroyed from the events of 2033. And then so what's happening tomorrow, we saw like that, the launch of that on the first round, and tomorrow we're going to see them get ready for the long sleep as they go into cryo sleep for maybe 1,000-year journey. How was that? Maybe like 60 seconds? I'm not sure.
Great.
That's pretty compressed.
That's
quite the elevator speech, man.
Man, I blacked out for a second. I don't know.
That was exactly what I was looking for in terms of like quick synopsis to walk me through the story. So thank you. But I think one of the coolest things about this is like how everybody's imagination just runs with it.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, we probably all have like an aspect of history that we like, and then it's like we can kind of put modern times twisted it, or we could just like change the story and see which way we would have rather have went in the past. But Aaron, I would love to hear about some of your pieces in these curations as well. What's like a favorite of yours that you feel like your imagination just went wild with?
So, quick backstory. I got into Strange History through the super rare open call, and it was a big deal for me. I've only been doing this stuff. I've only had the audacity to call myself an artist since January, when I joined Twitter and saw a random image that Claire Silver posted and thought, hey, I have to figure out how to do that. And so in, what was it, 8-9 months later in September, I got in on the open call, and HC reached out and said, hey, I'm not sure if I can bring you into Strange History at first, into super rare right away, but let's bring you into Foundation. And I listed a piece called Gutenberg's AI Sanctorium. And it's kind of imagining if Gutenberg in the 15th century discovered AI, and I think it's pretty rad. And then that, when I saw the Strange History open call, I was actually on vacation away from my PC. All I had was my phone. I learned how to install Discord and Midjourney on my phone and submitted like an unpost-processed version just because I was like so inspired by the whole idea of Strange History. And when I got back, I went from there. And what got into what won me the entry to the super rare space was a piece called The Unraveling. And my super rare trilogy is you mentioned like the Star Wars. It's basically kind of cribbing off of a Star Wars almost idea. Like the Bitters edition is like an OG, my take on an OG Star Wars trilogy poster, which I love. But so and then going on is going to have my own expanded universe, which I'm working on the first piece of that. So also cribbing off of the Star Wars vernacular there. But the unraveling shows, in the foreground you see a small lunar colony, and in the background you see Earth disintegrating on a subatomic level. And what happened was basically there were some Soviet scientists who were working on a device that was supposed to be the ultimate deterrent. And a journalist found out about it, published an expose, and triggered them to do a premature test, kind of diving into the first piece goes into that, diving into the depths of human hubris and what led them to do that. And they thought that they were going to prove themselves right and convince the world to be a peaceful place, and they were very wrong. They blew up the world in the process. So in the final piece, which Historic Crypto picked up, is called Manifest Destiny, and it's 1,000 years later. The handful of scientists and cosmonauts and astronauts, very ideological people in that lunar colony, got cast out into open space. And 1,000 years later, a millennium later, we see the possibilities of humanity no longer burdened by conflict. And so you've got a very large lunar colony. In the background, you have a fleet of megaships. You have a planet being terraformed. You have a gigantic space station. And it's actually it's my submission to the current, what do you call it? The current Cosimo thing about peace, because it's really just a call for peace. It's a call to wake up to the potential of the deterrent mentality in a nuclear world where we've got constant conflict going on, these proxy wars among nuclear armed powers. And that's kind of what it is.
Dude, I think this is absurd all around. It's cool to see how like each one of you guys has like your own story within Strange History. It's like there's a million different stories just kind of going on in parallel. And I guess that kind of leads me to a follow-up question. Do you feel like anybody's Strange History individual plots have intersected? Do you guys feel that way at all?
I actually haven't seen that yet, but that's an interesting subject, I think, for another day. There have been a couple pieces on similar topics, but when we're talking about like elongated storylines, like we've done with alternate realities that you can really expand on, I haven't seen anyone's storylines intersect, but I would definitely push toward collaboration because that would be really awesome. Just listening to, everything Black just said and everything Aaron just said just kind of shows you how intricate some of the storytelling is in Strange History and how crazy it's become. It started as, generating images of the past, just in piecemeal, but it's ultimately become in the last few months just epic, legendary, cinematic storytelling, to the point where Black's Syncretica can be a full-length film, perhaps even a trilogy. Aaron's could be, a sci-fi trilogy as well. Pixelosophers created a movie about the Aztec Empire going on into the future. I have a storyline about Alexander the Great, moving into conquering China and then fighting the samurai, which I've created an AI video about, and then ultimately discovering the New World in 1492 instead of Christopher Columbus, which is just like insane and can lead me down so many rabbit holes and storylines. But it just goes to show you that, we're not just Strange History isn't just about prompting in Midjourney and creating an image anymore. It's about creating full detailed storylines, the likes of which I don't think Web3 has really even seen before, or even recognizes like the full magnitude of what we're doing right now. It's just absolutely insane. And when you see some of the showcases we put together on Join, it's really just going to blow people's minds if they take the time to delve into it and read into it.
I think it's fun, man. It's a blast. And it's like, I feel like it would just be like so cool to see, I guess, somebody like try to like compile all of these stories in like one like book per se, where it's like you could kind of go down every path that each individual artist has written. Like that would be so much fun to read through.
That's something that I want. That's something that I kind of want to work on too with Join. Sorry, Aaron. Because there's like there are different features now that we have access to with stories and showcases. And a showcase can be an individual artist showcase of their storyline, but then I can piece them all together through a story, which is a separate feature. And then the really cool thing about Join is that you can take minted pieces from different marketplaces. So I can take my super rare pieces that are minted on super rare, put them into a story, write about that piece, and then in the next section of the story have a piece that I minted on Foundation, which might be an AI video, and then talk about that and how it interplays with the other pieces that I've minted on other chains. Then I can have a piece that I minted just on Join specifically for that storyline or an edition. It's compatible with Rarible and Manifold, and it's just a really great place for storytelling, which is perfect for Strange History.
For real. I haven't actually checked out the Join showcases thus far. I have to add that to my to-do list just because it sounds like the tech behind it is insane, being able to like aggregate work from all of these different platforms.
That's exactly what it is. It's a way to like pull things in from all these different places to have it in one place. And I think one of the biggest components is just being able to add like a significant amount of narrative to things. So in the Strange History use case, you're looking at a situation where it's not just the images, it's this entire story or the world that's been built around it. And how do you put that into something with like a 500 character count limit? It's very, very limited. And I think it's almost spoiled me because I've had good opportunities to be able to work with Join here for a while, and using those like long form narratives have been great. But then I'll go to like something like Foundation and I'll paste in my description and it's like a quarter of what it actually is. I'm like, shit. So I feel like you're actually able to put into it what you want to put into it if you want that, as well as sort of add in these auxiliary things. Like with the showcase I'm putting out tomorrow, it's going to have the mints from Super Rare, but then we're also going to have mints on Join there too, in one place all together with descriptions and narratives and everything else. And you literally can't do that anywhere else. Like you can't like mix platforms. And if I had something on Foundation, I could pull that in as well and put it all in together. And so if you have these sort of like cross-chain identities or cross-chain like series of works, you can end up continuously doing that and then put everything into like a single location if you want to, utilizing the showcase stuff on Join. So it's kind of crazy.
I think that's awesome. I think that's just going to help for Strange History, but artists in like so many other ways as well, who carry like a narrative across their body of work and like mint work on multiple platforms. So it sounds like a blast. It's a cool way to follow the chapter book. Want to ask Sierra, I saw that you participated in the object one as well, but HC is coming up with a bunch of different prompts for all of these different platforms. I don't know if it's HC or the community. Would love to hear on you guys, like how those ideas come together. But Sierra, what have been like your favorite prompts that you've been given where you're like, I can run with this?
Oh, that sounded really loud. I really liked the Ancient Aliens prompt because I've always loved aliens, and the thought that now like we're kind of accepting that they might be here is exciting. So that one was fun. The alternate realities one was really hard. That one made me have to use my brain a lot and and write a story and think about, 3 different images that could portray this alternate reality that doesn't exist. Um, I mean, the cult one was really fun too. I feel like at that point I was kind of getting like burnt out like with life. And I was like, I really wanted to join the conquest one, but I just like could not get it together. I was like, but I honestly really loved the initial one. I think the most, it's like the most dear to my heart, which was the initial Foundation world, because it was just kind of like so random. I love the prompts that HC gives us. They're well thought out, and it gives everybody a good chance to kind of like show their own style for one specific theme. But the original one was really cool too, because it was just allowing anybody to just think off the top of their head of a strange history moment. And I think we had some really odd out there submissions that, I mean, I sometimes I just go through the world when I'm just browsing and I'm like, this is so good. I like would randomly buy something that I was like, I didn't see this. So They're all really great, but maybe the original is like my favorite.
Let's go. So I want to take a quick note here for just if everybody could share the pinned tweets that is at the top, the first original pinned tweet. You could also get the link to the YouTube live stream from there. Come check us out on YouTube because we're about to scroll through the Strange History World live and check out some of the pieces. But yeah, so share the pinned tweet. Nonetheless, yeah, you brought up that original world, and I think it's a blast to scroll through because I just had it up on my laptop. So I'm just going to scroll through, and I want any of you guys, as you see a piece that you think is fun to talk about or a cool one of yours or anybody else's that you feel like, has made an impact, I want you guys to just tell me when to stop.
Well, these are some of the new ones that just have sold recently.
Should we go way back, like from the very start?
Yeah, let's go to the first. There we go.
This is day one.
This is day one. Yeah, March 21st, 2023.
HC's first mint in the world.
Viking discovers Americana. Yep, that was my first piece that I minted into the world that sold. It has that that post photography 35 millimeter feel to it. It's a Viking sitting in a diner, and we used to do it. Actually started with us doing a play on words in Strange History, so it kind of had to be like a pun. So instead of the Vikings discover America, it was Viking discovers Americana, and he's sitting in a 50s diner, eating breakfast, looking very confused, like obviously he shouldn't be there. So yeah, that was one of the originals. I love it. I think the description is something about, the Vikings coming to America in the 1950s and discovering that the East Coast is full of diners.
I'm looking at the diner food, man. I'm getting hungry. I'll be honest. Wait, HC, what happened to the helmet, man? We had a helmet on. I don't know if it was before the call or at the start of the call.
Yeah, I can drop the helmet.
Hell
so you have to be on
yes.
YouTube to listen and see the helmet.
We got HC in is it a Viking helmet or Spartan helmet? What's this from?
Corinthian helmet of the classical Greek Golden Age.
Dude, let's go. I'm ready to run through a wall with you. I feel like we're in the Sparta movie.
Let's look at some more pieces. I get too much feedback in the helmet. That's why.
Yeah, I hear that. Scrolling back up from the bottom. You guys tell me when to stop if there's anything that you guys like. Oh, we got a black piece here.
It's
Gotta
also
put one there.
interesting to see like how the AI technology has advanced since these days. Like, it's what version were we running? And well, if you were using Midjourney, this was like 4 something.
It was actually
5.0.
Was it 5?
Yeah.
Just before we started, Strange History 5.0 dropped, and that was kind of the impetus to have us do real photorealism, because that's when the photorealism really like took a big leap forward with the faces and hands and everything, right?
Yeah. That one that you had up, the crucifixion of Mary Magdalene, that was my first one in this, and I ended up doing like 4 total. I think I dropped 3 at first, and I had one other one that I did, and it was I did like gender swapped of like famous assassinations or murders. So I had like the crucifixion of Mary Magdalene, the betrayal of Julius Caesar, the assassination of Malkia X, and then the slaying of Lee Harley Oswald. So
damn, all deep, all around. And it's interesting to think on like how, I guess, and this is the whole concept of it, but it's interesting to think like what happens if like Julius Caesar is not betrayed, right? If you like flip flop some of those scenarios, what happens if JFK is not assassinated? It's like it's really, really a mind F, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. In fact, one of the pieces that I'm dropping tomorrow is like a callback to this series of like the gender swapped sort of assassination type thing, which I'm pretty stoked about because it's like it kind of resembles that, but it's almost like an elevation of those things. Some of these were so fun too, man. Like just looking back through, like especially some of the doc stuff, like with Hendrix and Pikachu, that's so amazing.
This one is pretty fresh. Yeah, shout out Doc T on this. If we could get it to load, there we go. You know what's funny? I remember seeing this like months ago, and this is like it was etched in my brain. And as you said it, Black, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, this is iconic, dude.
Yeah.
You can't
This
unsee
is
that.
Yeah.
this is such a great example of how Strange History runs the full gamut from absolute absurdist reimagining of history to the super serious side of it as well, of like some of the videos we saw in the Conquest. Some of the first stuff I saw in Strange History like was early when I was in the space, and it's just been wild all the time. Wild from crazy to wild from like the depth that people go into researching their serious stories as well. It's really cool.
Aaron, I know you're in the foundation world, man. We got to get a U piece up.
Yeah, you got to scroll towards the top and find one that hasn't sold.
One that hasn't. Okay. We'll jump to listings.
Go to
click the top.
listings and scroll down a little bit, and you'll find the Gutenberg's AI Scriptorium, which was my very first piece minted on Midjourney. There you go. And this was completely iterated and finished on my phone over the course of a week at the beach and evenings when the wife and the kiddo were asleep. And all I did afterwards was a little tiny bit of in painting and then post processing to really bring out the colors and the lighting. It was really cool for me. The process of trying to figure out how do you make it look like you're looking at 15th century scholars and you get a concept of the anachronism that this is AI. And when I was like, I started iterating with GPT, like give me some ideas. I can't, like, it wasn't working. I went through like an entire month subscription on my first month subscription just on this image for Midjourney. And finally I started seeing some images where I was getting this weird lighting. And I was like, wait, there would not have been blue light in the 15th century. And that's, as I drilled down into that, I also pinged in a couple group chats with some people like, hey, you know, what can we do to make this feel more realistic? And one thing that someone said, can you make it so that it is clear that they're interacting and using this tool to do things that they wouldn't have been able to do? And I think for me, it's shown quite successfully. You've got these futuristic globes of, you know, what maybe a steampunk person might have imagined 15th century AI technology could look like. Got the blue lines of them doing something, perhaps projecting, you know, designing a futuristic city or something. And you've got the realistic side where it was the 15th century and it was still just a bunch of men doing it all. So that's Gutenberg's AI sync. I'm losing the word.
AI
Scriptorium. There we go.
When I initially looked at this, I was ready for like Doctor Strange to like be in the corner eating a bowl of Fruit Loops, man. Just
he's in the dark shadows in the corner. You can't see him.
Yeah. But no, this is sweet, and I like how you expanded upon the blue too. I think it's cool to hear the backstory on how that came together in the piece for you. But love that, man. I saw another cool one by Pixelosopher that I want to jump back to if I could find it. I feel like it was newly minted towards the top. It was a colorful one, Pixelosopher.
A colorful. I think it was the Oppenheimer's piece, maybe.
Was it? Is it in listings?
That's
or
epic.
Yeah, I think it was sold. I think HC got it. Thanks, man.
Operation Sweet Tooth. Yeah, dude, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, that one took me a while to actually achieve it, and I was working with it with many people, including Black and Historic, because I thought the contradictory terms, you know, like having the candy and the atomic bomb there, and having Oppenheimer just watching develop the whole thing, and it was difficult to achieve. And then I realized that most of what I wanted could be achieved with texturing, basically. So I added some film grain to the image, and I edited some parts. That was back when Midjourney just added the in painting, but I wasn't really into it. I wasn't getting what I wanted, so I bought like the subscription to Photoshop, because I think still GenFill is very cool for particular parts of the image that I didn't like. So yeah, that was one of my favorites. Then I don't know why, but this was like a phenomenon. Like everybody was talking about Barbenheimer, and I didn't think of that at the beginning. But everybody was like, yeah, of course you did it because of the Barbie movie and the Oppenheimer one. And yeah, I must confess, Oppenheimer was like one of my must-watch films of this year, even though I didn't like it at the end. Sorry, but yeah, like I was really, really into showing this contradiction between something like candy and atomic bombs. And in my case, particularly, Strange History has been a place where I can explore myself in the sense of having both the lighthearted part of what I think about history and also the serious part of it. For instance, in my Neo-Aztec Empire one, I took a long time to do more research, and I actually finished the book that I was reading to just get what I wanted there, like to be specific. But with this one, it was more about exploring, having fun, showing this contradiction, and yeah, just that's what it is.
This kind of makes me think that in the last 6 months, Strange History is kind of like a time capsule. Like at the time that Oppenheimer came out, a few people were inspired to create, nuclear bomb type pieces, and a few of those made it into the collection. And then if you all remember, obviously the Pepe craze, when Pepe was running like insanely, and I, may or may not have had a whole bag of it that I didn't sell, but whatever. But at that time we had, 5 or 6 different Pepe pieces in history. And,
I'm
that's
trying to go
going to
back
be,
to Pepe era right now.
that's going to continue on into the future. I think that, when there's like something in pop culture that we can turn into a historical event, like the alien thing in Mexico, we did Strange History, Ancient Aliens at the time. So that's kind of like a moment in time that we took. So I like to see Strange History as a time capsule. I think that's a kind of a cool way to look at it.
Is this Pepe era right here?
Go up a little. Show Cleo Pepe. That's my baby.
Where's Cleo Pepe? Did I pass it?
It's down. It's HC's, but I bought it. Wait, is it up a little bit?
Not sure.
I'll go up.
I saw it. It was on the left. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Dang.
Yeah, this was
This is
That was one of
in his
my
Pepe days, and he inspired me to buy $200 worth of Pepe, which is now $30. It's okay, HC. I don't hold it against you.
No, Sierra, it's all right. We're on the YouTube live stream. We're pumping the Cleo Pepe bags right now. No, but it is funny, and that's a great point, right? So it's like this is the whole point of Strange History, or not. I don't want to say the whole point, but a point of Strange History is to like reimagine what history would be like. But it's funny, it's ironic that literally current events are influencing the reimagination of history.
Yeah, because you see it in the news, every day that there could be some event or some anniversary of something, and it just inspires you to look back at what that event was. Or just like time is cyclical in nature. Everything happens over and over and over again. It seems like throughout human history. That's kind of like another theme throughout the collection. So anytime that there's a headline that you can relate to history, it always inspires me. I know that Napoleon, the film, is going to come out soon. That'll be a huge thing, and I guarantee you we're going to have something to do with that in Strange History. But yeah, just the possibilities are just really, really endless. I think, I said something yesterday, like you take a dry or a purportedly dry topic like history, but you put the word strange in front of it and then give it to a bunch of artists, and then just all this crazy shit has happened. So it's kind of a cool way to look at it.
Hell yeah, man. I'm trying to find
focus on what you've got right there, the baptism drop. I think one thing that's cool and has been really successful in Strange History is some of these mint drops that have gone, like Nuclear Samurai's baptism one as well.
Oh, I'll jump to baptism next. I was trying to find a Moonlight piece, one that I haven't seen, and I haven't seen this one, Flat Earth. Is this the Titanic falling off?
It's just a cruise ship, going off the edge of the earth for those people that believe that the earth is flat. This is actually one of my first, actually, I think, right? Yeah.
We're throwing it back here.
I was about to say, this was like, I think the first piece I saw of yours ever. This is like in my brain, this is what I have locked down as Moonlight, is this one.
Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't create the fall in Midjourney. That was all Photoshop, and it took me 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, because I could not. Still to this day, I don't even know how I would even like interpret that in Midjourney. Like it sometimes it just doesn't understand like things that don't really make sense, I guess. Well, it does. Let me not say that, but I did try a lot to say like the cruise ship is going on an angle, and there's like a it was a whole thing, and I was like, screw this. I'm getting my image, and then I'm gonna just Photoshop it. So that was a fun one to
How
make.
did you fold that in Photoshop? I'm not good at Photoshop.
So I basically masked the cruise ship out and then took the top layer of the ocean and mirrored it downward. And then I had to like, burn and dodge to make the shadows to make it look like it was actually going down. And I edited the clouds so it didn't have the same cloud at the top. It, if I had the layered file, I would love to show it one day because it's wild.
Yeah, imagine the creative process. That's actually would be a sick thing to watch. And I think it would I guess kind of like trump a lot of the AI haters that are out there. But to like watch your guys' process as you're creating some of these pieces, because I don't think, or I know it's not as simple as just like typing the first thing that comes into your mind into Midjourney and then just like taking what comes out. It's like just like reworking that prompt, right? You have to like craft that prompt to like get it to a point where you're okay with it. And then we have artists like you, Sierra, who take it into Photoshop and do all of these ridiculous things with it. And then it's just like a crazy, expression of imagination at the end of the day. So would love to see that process more and more. But I know we got baptism on deck. Let's find it.
While you look for it, the what Black was talking about bringing in the different like B-sides and stuff is really cool, because as we go into like generating these complex images, oftentimes you'll have to do things like take one image, get the seed from that to get a consistent face for another, and the stuff that Black's been talking about, you can then mint those as additions. And so all the different intermediate images that go to it, anything that's mint worthy, you can do as a cheap addition and have it all on the join page where you've got the actual like headline super rare piece minted on super rare, but you've got the gasless mints on join as well. And you can build the narrative and the process into it, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, I think that's a dope feature as well. I gotta check out these join like showcases. These sound insane. But did I have the right? Is it Nuke's baptism or is it? I thought somebody said it was HC's baptism.
Yeah, no, it's
No, Nuke's right there.
one right there. Yeah.
It is sweet. How do we go through each one? Baptism 09, bang. Wait, can I scroll?
I don't know how you do that. I just wanted to bring it up because it's like,
Oh, here we go.
there you go. It's this really amazing work that's like each piece of this is really kind of emotionally, visually gripping. And in and of itself kind of tells this broader narrative. And it was one of the first things I noticed from Strange History when I got into it.
I think that's a funny question actually that you bring up, Aaron. What was everybody's I guess like entry in? And I know we covered some of your guys' entries into Strange History, but what was your guys' first encounter? Like, was it a piece that you saw? What did you initially think? And we'll kick that over to Pixel first. Pixel, how did you first become acquainted with Strange History?
Yeah, I think it was just looking through my Twitter, like how do you say? Oh, the word just went away. But I was just looking at who I was following at the time.
Yeah.
And I begun to just explore the photorealistic part of AI, because I was only doing AI pixel art back in the day. And given that I studied philosophy before, I was really into like certain topics of ancient philosophy at that time. So I think the first image that I saw that brought me into like this Strange History group was one by Black. I think it was the assassination or the betrayal of Julius Caesar. And that one in particular, I thought it was very powerful, and it brought me to a different time and place, and just imagining the possibility of having a Julius Caesar just blew my mind at that point.
Yeah, and I think this is a dope piece too. But Black, do you want to talk about this one? What led you to this thought?
My very first thought was the Mary Magdalene one, and then I started thinking about how to just like switch that out. And this was the second one that I did and I worked on. I probably created at least 1,000 different versions of this, maybe 2,000 different versions. And then this is actually a composite of, I think, around 15, 16, 17 images that are all together, that are just completely composited together. And yeah, I wanted something, the idea of like depicting death is like not, it could be very morbid, and you see things that are very raw and very kind of like harsh. And I wanted to, with all of these, because they were depicting death, I wanted to, one, do it with respect, but also do it in a way where there was something very poignant about it. And there was definitely a lot that were harsh and rough and, inhumane looking. But then there's something about the ones that I ended up kind of finalizing, and the ones that are out there. This one in particular is one of my favorite pieces I've ever done in my life as an artist. I absolutely love this piece. It would be like a 50th piece in my opinion. It's like one of my favorite things I've ever created. There's something so like stunningly powerful about this, and the eye contact, there's emotion. You can just almost imagine that below the frame, the woman on the left just has a knife in the woman on the right stomach. Like you can just like kind of feel that energy of just like, well, she just got stuck, and like there's like this loss and betrayal and emotion that's there within the woman on the right. And as I said, this is a composite of a lot of different versions together. That spent a lot of time on to really just like edit it and get it right. And it just seems like it like kind of bridges that gap between almost like a Renaissance painting and a photograph. And it sort of has a bit of an aesthetic from both of them and just kind of like bridges it together. And it just, yeah, it's very striking for me. I have this piece, I use Notion a lot, and I have this piece as like a banner on all my internal Notion stuff because I love it. It's like one of my favorite things. But yeah, this is one of my most like proudest works, I would say.
Dude, I am also a thought for Notion, man. I love that app.
Notion's incredible. I built my whole website and a couple times now, actually. It's great.
I've never seen a website. It's actually bananas. Is your website live? Like, can I check it out?
Yeah. blac.ai. Super minimal version from what it used to be. I just recently changed it up. But
Let's take a quick look at Black's Notion website because I'm a Notion geek. Boom. Oh wait, it's not sharing only. I can see it. Sweet. This is a Notion?
yeah.
Dude, this is ridiculous.
The version before this was like very ridiculous. It was significantly more complex. This is like a really just super minimal version of
I like how simple it is though. It's
super clean.
exactly.
I also have like a full database. Something I think is really useful is I have a full database of like all mints, as well as like all like podcast interviews and different things that I've had. It's not linked on here right now because I haven't put that on this new version, but I literally just finished this very recently. And so you can use like Notion to like create databases of like all your work and everything in one place. It's a good way to like keep track of stuff. It's just like really easy to update.
Yeah, dude, this is actually like, if I was an artist building a website, this is actually like the most insane alpha. Also, for anybody that's not on the YouTube live stream, for context, if you join the Twitter space late, you could jump on the YouTube live stream from the pinned tweet at the top, our first pinned tweet. And if you could also share that tweet, we would appreciate it. But yeah, A, Black, your website is insane. B, Notion is a sick app. Agree. The databases are huge. Like very, very helpful. You could add a bunch of different fields that pertain to whatever you want. So definitely recommend this as a great way to build a website. But back to the topic.
I'm happy I saw this because I really need to work on my website. So thanks.
I actually, if you're familiar with Omliart, she and I did a live stream earlier in the year, and it's on her Twitch. If you go through her links, you can probably find there's a recording, but we did a live stream. I taught her how to build a site in Notion in an hour.
Oh my God.
So if you go through that, there's like a beautiful, it's like an actual tutorial that we did, like an hour-long recorded live stream on her like Twitch stream.
I'm gonna be
She's a
watching.
blast too as a person. She was on a space with us like a few months back. It was her and I think Crypto Ping on the same space, if I remember correctly. And I saw Ping somewhere in like the YouTube comments. Shout out Ping, man. You're the man.
I
But
wish I had seen Black's video because I went about a website the hard way. I started trying to do one as like a no-code beginner using GPT to do like a custom React and like this whole like custom coded thing, and I eventually just hit this stumbling block and had to like do it again. And I tried to do it just like with Google Sites, and that was too basic. And then I finally discovered that GoDaddy's thing like had what I needed. But if I had maybe known that Black's web video was out there, I probably would have had a website a lot faster than I do. Third try is a charm, you know.
hell yeah.
The Roman Empire.
Dude, this is hysterical.
Yes.
That was a 500 piece free drop that I created.
Dude, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
This was during the time of Pepe. I wanted to make sure that Pepe was free and available for everyone.
Didn't it
if you
sell
know-
out in like 2 seconds or something?
It was really fast. It was free. The issue with Foundation free drops is that anyone can mint any amount. So some people are minting, 10 or 20 of them at a time. So it was just like 20 minutes and it was out. But at the time I was really into this, and I still am into this tintype photography, colorized tintype photography style, trying to get Pepe's throughout the Roman Empire as different characters and figures, whether they be civilians or senators or in the market or gladiators. I really did take a lot of time to create a whole 500 piece collection.
I could
Because
imagine.
Braindrops does all 500 pieces, and I was like, well, if they can do it, then I can do it with Pepe.
You did it, dude. You did. You did it and did it damn well.
Yeah,
That's
it's
dedication, fam.
Yeah, but I think this brings up a cool point. It's like we've seen almost an evolution, I think, just looking at the world, but also how the curations evolved across platforms too. And not only with the prompts, but with the storytelling. Like I can imagine that the first pieces were just kind of individual one of ones. And then we started seeing, like, for example, Nuke's set of editions that we ran through, Baptism. That felt like I was watching a movie. I literally felt like I was watching I Am Legend, like reimagined. And now, for example, we have this 500 Empire, but then we went from there, and now there's the AI video, right? And we get to kind of see these one of one pieces imagined as at least like short mini AI films. And like my next thought is like at some point, I feel like we can just have movies of strange history that are 2 hours long, covering individual artist narratives or how those narratives intersect. And it's wildly interesting when you look at how many different things you can do with this, just because it's like all in that history timeline.
Yeah, that's something that I'm really pushing for all strange history artists is not just to create new standalone one-on-one pieces, but work upon either your previous pieces that you have in this Foundation world. More specifically, if you're in the super rare, because there's already 3 pieces in there, or create a drop that is part of the story and continue on that timeline or continue within that theme. A lot of people in the world now are working on something like that. So I'm not even dropping really new one-on-ones standalone anymore. I'm kind of just working all of these new pieces into previous storylines that I'm showcasing on Join or creating, on Foundation.
One thing that's cool about the kind of the depth and breadth of a lot of these storylines is that even though, like HC was mentioning, that you start for anything you're doing strange history, you start kind of almost, this is so epic, you start kind of almost focusing only on that storyline. But because your storyline can span millennia, I've got my pieces range from what I'm working on now, which is going to be an image of a dude getting tortured by the KGB, to Earth blowing up, to scientists working on a doomsday device, to what the future could look like without conflict. And each of those, it's kind of, you can go from super photorealistic to super sci-fi, and you can explore different depths to which you're zoomed in on a person, on two people, on a planet, on the entire galaxy, and it's really rad. I think Black is taking it to the furthest extreme with creating an it's not a religion, but it's just really, really inspiring to see. You know, we've got just from the Strange History alternate realities, we've basically got 30 different IPs that could be fairly easily developed into a whole other thing. It's really cool.
100%. And we are coming close to time, so I want to start wrapping up. But before we do, I want to ask you guys as a group, what do you envision to be the next steps for Strange History in terms of like next prompts? Where you think it can go, just in general, open-ended? Where do you think it's headed next?
Well, it's hard for me to answer that because I have 100 ideas every day, and I'm trying to decide what we should do next. Right now, I'm trying to decide. I don't know if they knew this was a good idea or not, but Join just gave me access to create my own open calls. So there's going to be something coming soon. I want to make it sick and twisted and crazy.
I knew that too. I was like, you get HC in there, it's going to be wildfire. It's just going to spread.
Yeah, I want to really think it out. Our last open call for Super Rare was very narrow and very specific, and it had a big prize at the end, Super Rare admission. So we got a lot of entries, but it was narrowly tailored because I wanted like the highest quality storylines and the highest quality art. So, you know, if we do another open call like that, that's something I want to work on. But really, in general, I'm definitely gearing towards AI video, one, and then two, working on the base of art that we already have established, whether it be on Foundation or on Super Rare, and advancing that and continuing those storylines the best that we can. I think using AI to create, you know, full length video would be something that's, you know, insane, whether that's something we could collectively do or whether, you know, that's something that someone does on their own. Short films to start, and then maybe a 2-hour feature Strange History.
Dude, ecstatic for it to get to that, like for you guys to just continue doing that. I love the full length idea. I'm throwing this in, and I mentioned it before, but as an idea for the Join open calls, I feel like it'd be fun to have artists pair up as like teams, or like pair up or just group up as teams, and then have to like intertwine narratives from like their past pieces. I think that would be insane. So just like a seed to plant in there.
It's a good
But
idea. I like that.
A cool point about that is HC was really meticulous about the curation for the Super Rare part, to the extent that no two people could have the same like concept of storyline. If there's one JFK, that was the JFK. If there's one Aztec, that was the Aztec. And there could be really interesting ways to take these very siloed storylines and start trying to weave them together using maybe the join spaces or the some different AI video stuff. You could maybe, like, Nuke has this Diptychs world going on. Like, there's all kinds of different ways you could collab with that, and I think it'd be really rad.
hell yeah. I think those ideas like that are good ones to leave off on. I was also looking at this Let Them Eat Big Mac piece by Alice IG. Shouts out to her. And Sierra, remind me of your Let Them Eat Cake collection.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I see it now.
I saw it and I thought Alice was trolling you.
No, that was before my collection. But I wanted to add something to the where Strange History can go topic. I know I talked to HC about this a little bit, but I think having like an IRL like gallery where each room could be like a different time period or something, where it'd almost be, it's like this interactive, like, I don't want to say like haunted house, but you know how you like walk through one of a haunted house and like each room is like a different theme. Like, I have that in my brain as being something epic that I'd love to like help bring to reality, but I just think it would be so cool.
Let's go. Sierra's hosting a New York City art event, Strange History exhibit in her house.
Yes.
Okay, I have like two rooms.
I'm down for that for sure.
I think that's an awesome idea. But no, we normally go for an hour, so we're 20 minutes over. Nonetheless, it was a great excuse to go 20 minutes over because I think we just had an amazing group of artists up here, an amazing curator with Historic Crypto putting it together, and just a ridiculous world montage, super rare space on object as well, AI video drop, party on a yacht. We covered it all, guys. So I want to thank everybody for jumping on today. Shouts out Historic Crypto, Black, Moonlight Sierra, Pixelosopher, Aaron.art, as well as Nuclear Samurai who jumped on too. Shout out Strange History. There's also a Twitter account for Strange History that I came across now at Strange History X, I believe, on X naturally. So go and follow that. Follow this amazing set of artists as well. And if you enjoyed today's convo, if you want to subscribe to Eminent on YouTube, you can. That would be cool. We'd appreciate that. And check out the newsletter because we're writing about an amazing group of artists in New York City across Web3, and we're doing it all. This group up here is doing big things. So I want to thank you guys once again for jumping on.
Let's go.
Thank you, man.
Brad, thank you so much for giving me a chance to show off this shiny new avatar PFP thing.
Thanks for having us.
That
you.
was amazing hearing.
Hell yeah. I feel like Aaron's going to jump on every video call now looking like this.
I'm gonna be the mother effing like video call storm bomber. Just I don't know the right word. I'm excited about this. It's so rad.
I'm gonna be scrolling on like TikTok later. I'm gonna see like Aaron jumping into like college video calls. Talking about strange history. But once again, thank you to everybody for jumping on. We'll run out with some music and catch you guys on the next one.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.